You like Tiger Woods?
I've spent the last 20 years triaging and firefighting and trying to put fires out. And you know what, I don't mind doing it, but it gets old for a while. The opportunity to build with Kevin and his team is really phenomenal, and it's been a tremendous reward for me. And you guys all know that, you know, this is very unusual. And it's not been done, to my knowledge, and it presents a tremendous opportunity.
There is 1.1 billion people in China, in middle class, I would say, middle class people in China by 2020. And the value there is tremendous. I wanted to start a business model that I can bring outside technology into China and be their partner. Form the partnership in China, represent the interests, protect their IP, and help them to mitigate the risk of going to China. When technologies come to China, we help them not only to commercialize it, become the bridge, but also help them to mitigate the financial risk.
One of our co-hosts is Green Prosperity. They are a venture capital group in China who are also helping the entrepreneurs outside with their go-to-market strategy. So, as you've mentored a bunch of entrepreneurs, what are some of the challenges in international expansion to markets like China that you see, and what value do these services bring in?
Sure, absolutely. I think it's really important to know investors globally because they're going to bring a different perspective. Like, for example, our firm is here in San Francisco, and so we understand sort of North American markets, but we don't have the sort of expertise or the boots on the ground to understand markets in other places such as China.
What I think is great about having access to China is obviously we now live in a world where markets are global. That's one of the reasons why companies are growing faster than ever before, because they can reach a global audience. But when it comes to actually going into a market, there's more than just putting up a website. And so having the local partners with the expertise to help you plug into the networks on the ground is really essential.
They're experts in China, right? So if your company is interested in going to China, you would look for an organization like that, a fund like that, that understands the localization of where you're headed. You know, if you go to India, it's the same thing. So with Green Prosperity, they are stating that they have these relationships in China.
If you take an American company to China or a European company to China, it's very local. You don't know what you're dealing with. A lot of American venture funds did offices in China, and they realized they needed local people to manage on the ground. So Green Prosperity lets technology companies do a joint venture in China, and they manage scaling it up in China. It's a faster and better way to go.
I met Michael 2 years ago. He invited me over for this first event, in my case. And I'm very interested in actually talking to, well, everybody here, like Chris. And what I like a lot is people are very focused on the execution part. And this is, I think, also linked to Green Prosperity. Our entry into China, I think it's important to have the boots on the ground. And I see a lot of similar-minded people in that direction.
We've been to a few of his events, and every single one I would call a huge success because we come away with contacts that we wouldn't have had a chance to make otherwise.
Anytime you ask Michael to do something, he always does it, gives it with full heart and full passion. And he always is thinking about someone else rather than himself.
I engaged with a few of you selectively when Kevin was here in October, and every single one of you saw value in what he's doing. It just resonated in risk mitigation. And the opportunity to try to harvest and monetize this strategic value for all of you. Reese, we were having lunch yesterday. You saw value. You know, Perry, you saw. There's different things that we see, and being the key decision maker, stakeholder, allows us to harvest that value.